Imagine the internet as a vast, uncharted ocean. What we see and use every day, social media, news sites, online shopping, barely scratches the surface. In fact, over 90% of the internet is hidden from search engines, invisible to the average user. This enormous, concealed portion is known as the deep web. Within the deep web lies an even more secretive and mysterious realm, the dark web. This is a place shrouded in secrecy, where anonymity is not just a feature, but a necessity. Accessing the dark web isn't as simple as typing a web address into your browser. It requires special software, the most well-known being the Tor browser. Tor stands for the Onion Router, and it's designed to mask users' identities by wrapping their internet traffic in multiple layers of encryption, much like the layers of an onion. Unlike the familiar websites you visit every day, dark websites have addresses ending in .onion. These sites are hidden from traditional search engines and can't be accessed through regular browsers like Chrome or Safari. You need the right tools and knowledge just to find them. The technology behind this secrecy has surprising origins. Onion routing, the backbone of the dark web, was originally developed by the US Navy to protect sensitive government communications. By bouncing your internet traffic through a global network of volunteer-run servers, it becomes nearly impossible for anyone to trace your online activity back to you. This powerful technology is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a vital tool for protecting privacy and free speech, especially in countries with heavy censorship or surveillance. On the other, it can also be exploited for illegal activities, from black markets to cybercrime, making it a source of both hope and concern. Despite its reputation, the dark web isn't some spooky alternate dimension or a digital underworld reserved for criminals. It's a real, functional part of the internet, built from the ground up to provide anonymity and security for anyone who needs it. Here, you'll find a diverse mix of people. Journalists and whistleblowers use the dark web to communicate safely. Activists rely on it to organize under oppressive regimes. And yes, criminals also take advantage of its privacy features. All of them are shielded by the same powerful privacy tools. To truly understand the dark web, it's important to look beyond the myths and sensational headlines. Learning how this technology works, how encryption, anonymity, and privacy intersect, helps us see the bigger picture. The dark web is neither wholly good nor evil. It's a powerful, complex tool that reflects the intentions of those who use it. Like any technology, its impact depends on the hands it's in, and understanding it is the first step to using it wisely. Before we go further, remember, this is for education only. The dark web is risky, exposing you to disturbing content, malware, and dangerous individuals. Law enforcement actively monitors these networks, and anonymity is never guaranteed. Engaging in illegal activity can have lifelong consequences. The goal here is to inform, not encourage risky behavior. By understanding the truth, you can better protect yourself online. Knowledge replaces fear with caution and helps you navigate the digital world safely. In the digital age, being informed is your best defense. When most people hear the words dark web, they instantly imagine a shadowy world filled with hackers, criminals, and illegal deals. This reputation has led many to believe that everything on the dark web is unlawful or dangerous. But in reality, that's a myth, a misconception fueled by movies, news headlines, and sensational stories. While it's true that illegal markets and shady activities do exist, the dark web is much more than just a criminal underworld. In fact, a significant portion of the dark web is completely legal. There are forums where people discuss technology, privacy, and even everyday hobbies. There are blogs, news sites, and communities that simply value privacy and anonymity. Major news outlets like the New York Times and the BBC have even set up their own .onion sites. These special versions of their websites help people in countries with heavy censorship access unbiased news and information, bypassing government restrictions and firewalls. For activists, whistleblowers, and privacy advocates, the dark web is a lifeline. It offers a safe space to communicate, share information, and organize without fear of surveillance or retaliation. These individuals aren't looking to break the law, they're seeking protection. For many, the dark web acts as a shield, allowing them to fight for justice, expose corruption, or simply escape oppressive surveillance in their home countries. Beyond activism, you'll also find communities for book lovers, hobbyists, and people who just want to connect without being tracked. There are personal blogs, support groups, and even online book clubs, ordinary people who value their privacy. Of course, the criminal element is real and shouldn't be ignored. Illegal marketplaces and scams do exist, and they're often what make headlines. But that's only one part of a much bigger story. Ultimately, the dark web is just a tool. Like any tool, its purpose depends entirely on who's using it and what they're using it for. It can be a force for good, a haven for privacy, or a platform for crime. The choice is in the hands of its users. There's a myth that opening the Tor browser means instant hacking. This is exaggerated. Simply browsing .onion sites won't infect your computer. The real danger comes from careless actions. Downloading unknown files or clicking suspicious links is risky, just like on the regular web. Phishing scams and malware are common, but vigilance and common sense are your best protection. Tor is designed for security, isolating sites and clearing cookies after each session. Keep your browser and system updated and avoid reckless behavior. Hackers aren't waiting to ambush you. You have to make a mistake first. The threats are real, but avoidable with smart habits. When most people hear the term dark web, they imagine a mysterious, sprawling digital underworld, an endless maze of hidden websites and secret activity lurking beneath the surface of the internet. But in reality, this perception is far from accurate. The dark web is not the vast, boundless universe that movies and TV shows often portray. Instead, it's a much smaller, more contained space, with its own unique limitations and challenges. To understand the scale, it helps to compare the dark web to the deep web. The deep web includes everything online that isn't indexed by search engines. Think of your private email inboxes, confidential business databases, academic records, and subscription-only content. This deep web is truly massive, making up the majority of the internet's data, and it's where most of our daily online activities actually happen. The dark web, on the other hand, is just a tiny fraction of this. There are only tens of thousands of active .onion sites, websites that require special browsers like Tor to access, compared to the billions of regular websites on the surface web that anyone can visit with a standard browser. This small size is due to several factors. Technical barriers make it difficult for most people to access or even find dark websites. Many sites are short-lived, and the user base is limited, often consisting of a tight-knit community of individuals who are familiar with the risks and challenges involved. The dark web can feel chaotic and unstable because sites are constantly appearing, disappearing, or changing their addresses to avoid detection or takedown. This constant flux makes it hard to navigate and even harder to trust what you find. In fact, many so-called new sites are simply copies or mirrors of older ones, and the community itself is relatively small and familiar. It's not the endless, ever-expanding network that some imagine, but rather a niche corner of the internet with its own repeating patterns. The myth of an enormous, limitless dark web is largely fueled by media hype and sensational headlines, rather than the reality of what actually exists. News stories often exaggerate its scale and mystery, making it seem far more intimidating than it really is. While the dark web's impact on society and security can be significant, its actual size is surprisingly contained, a small, glowing spot in the vast darkness of the internet, rather than an endless abyss. The myth of red rooms, live torture streams for paying viewers, has no credible evidence. Technical limitations make live streaming on Tor nearly impossible. High bandwidth needs and digital footprints would expose such sites quickly. Similarly, hitman for hire sites are almost always scams or law enforcement stings. These stories play on our fears, but real investigations have found no proof. Scammers exploit these myths to lure the curious or malicious. While the dark web has real dangers, red rooms and live assassins remain fiction. The stereotype of the dark web as a haven for only criminals and hackers is false. Many users are ordinary people in oppressive regimes, using Tor to access uncensored news and communicate safely. Journalists and whistleblowers rely on the dark web to protect sources and expose corruption. Privacy-conscious individuals use it to avoid corporate tracking and data collection. The user base is diverse: activists, journalists, everyday citizens, and yes, some criminals. The dark web is a lifeline for many, not just a criminal playground. Its true community is far more complex than the movies suggest. The real dangers of the dark web are less dramatic but very real. You risk exposure to illegal and disturbing content, which can be traumatic and carry legal consequences. Scams and financial fraud are rampant. There's no customer service if you get ripped off. Phishing sites and malware are everywhere, often disguised as something enticing. Malware can steal your data, lock your files, or even take over your device. Law enforcement monitors the dark web, and even innocent browsing can attract attention. The anonymity is a cat-and-mouse game, and mistakes can have serious consequences. The risks are practical and severe, reason enough to stay away. Caution and awareness are essential. Technology isn't good or evil. It's a tool shaped by its users. The same privacy that protects journalists can also shield criminals. Understanding this duality is key to safe digital navigation. Myths distract from real dangers like scams and malware, and from the dark web's role in protecting free speech. Protect yourself with strong passwords, two-factor authentication, skepticism, and regular updates. These habits are your best defense online. The internet's power comes with responsibility. Stay informed and cautious. In the digital age, knowledge is your most essential shield. Thanks for watching. And remember, stay safe online. You've got this. See you in the next one. This is Cyber Network, signing off.